What's up, what's up? It's your boy, Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Chilling out here in the backyard. I mean, it's raining out. You can see there on my barbecue. What can you do, right? I decided to throw together the compilation for all my recipes of the month of March 2026. Simple and delicious. We got smoked briskets, sausages, the whole nine. So make sure you watch every recipe here. Tell me which is your favorite in the comments below. And heck yeah, bud, make sure you like and subscribe.
What's up, gang? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, and I smoked a brisket low and slow using the foil boat method in my offset smoker. And you better believe we developed bark, beautiful smoke ring, rendered intermuscular fat. Guys, this one was juicy, tender, and delicious. So if you love barbecue, go ahead, hit those buttons and like and subscribe. Let's start from the very beginning. I picked up this delicious brisket from Costco and it was only $95. I was really excited about that. I mean, the price of brisket is very expensive. They're normally like $150 or more dollars. So when I saw this for only $95, I instantly grabbed it. I actually reached over some random guy to grab it, like jumped right in front of him and was like, "That's mine." Anyway, so I brought it home, pulled it out of the cryovac, and I'm just going to trim it up. Now, when you're trimming a brisket, it's all about aerodynamics. You know, that offset smoker or any kind of smoker, like a pellet smoker, even if you're doing this on a charcoal grill with a snake method, one really big thing that's going to be happening is just thermal cooking. Hot air is going to be moving around this piece of meat. And so if you have like chunks that are kind of hanging off, little edges that air can catch onto, those will become little crispy ends or like burnt pieces. So by making it aerodynamic and trimming it down like this, you're going to get the best possible cook. I know it's not totally required, 100%. You can just throw the brisket on, but you will get better results if you cook it this way. So I'm trimming down the fat cap. That's super important, but you need to be extremely careful. I'm going to make a mistake here shortly that I will very much so point out, and we'll discuss everything about that. And it has to do with the flat. But for now, we're just going to keep trimming off that silver skin on the bottom. You don't have to go too crazy here because we're going to smoke this for like 14 hours. So that silver skin would technically break down. But guys, right here, this is what's important, is on that top fat cap, we want to bring it down to roughly 1/4 inch, okay? Now, currently, I'm going down and right here, this is the mistake I made. I went too thin. I went too close, and you can see I created a little pocket on the top of my flat. Huge mistake. That's going to be staring us in the face the entire time this thing's on the offset smoker. But the reality is, it's really not that big of a deal. This brisket still cooked perfectly. It was still delicious. It was a 10 out of 10. But it's important that you just be mindful. Having that extra piece of fat there will really help just protect the meat, render it down, and also allow, as it kind of renders, to melt over the beef. Anyway, all right. I always recommend this because it's extremely hard to oversalt a brisket. Start by doing a dry salt brine using kosher salt overnight in your refrigerator. Personally, I think it's a huge win when you do this on brisket. Then the next morning, once you pull it out, wipe off that salt that's remaining, and we're going to go in with some dry rubs. I'm using a sweet chipotle dry rub and mighty mesquite combined together to make an unreal bark, along with just a little extra ground pepper because briskets love pepper. If you want to build a really good bark, I will tell you immediately, pepper is your starting point. And the larger the particles are, I'm telling you immediately, like if you have fine grained pepper, that's not what you're looking for. You want coarse grained pepper. Just seriously, guys. Like I think they call it like quarter mesh pepper or something like that. But yeah, you want it nice and thick. Oh, dude, check it out. You want to make sure we're seasoning every side as well. extremely important. Once you have these dry rubs on there, I like to let it sit at room temperature for about an hour before getting the offset smoker fired up. Now, I'm smoking this low and slow. I'm starting around 200 degrees. Intermuscular fat and collagen renders between 140 and 160. So I like to start my brisket on while my smoker's coming up to temp. Let all that extra smoke just pour over top. That's my personal opinion. Whether you agree with it or not is another thing. But look, I like a nice smoky brisket. And by getting it on there a little bit early and just allowing all that colder smoke to roll over, it 100% will start developing bark earlier. It will get that smoky flavor. And guys, it's going to be spectacular. So this is it about 4 to 5 hours in. After about the 3-hour mark, I start hitting it with a little bit of apple cider vinegar if needed. If I'm seeing it looking dry, I give it just a quick spritz, but literally nothing crazy at all. All right, let's talk about that little gash in the top. Oh, okay. So it definitely hinders the bark in that one little spot. It's really not the end of the world. But what you saw me do there was grab the brisket and tilt off all that fat that I had building up on top. It's not the end of the world, but in my opinion, it's the smart choice. By allowing fat to pool right there, you don't allow the smoke to get to that bark. You don't allow it to cling. And unfortunately, that fat will also rinse away just a little bit of your seasoning too on top. But again, guys, it's minimal. Like, you still have delicious slices of brisket. I'll show you at the end here. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. It's just when you're super deep into barbecue and you really want to hit that perfection point. I mean, this thing would have looked glorious without that gash. But as you can still see there, still had bark form on it. It's looking delicious. This thing was smoked for 14 hours total. Now, after about the first hour or so, I kicked it up to about 225 to 250 and left it balanced in that heat zone. And guys, smoking it for about 13 or 14 hours, waiting for it to come up to that internal temperature of 203 degrees before pulling it off is the right choice. Then what I do is I wrap it in butcher's paper. I let it come down to an internal temperature of about 175 degrees, and then throw in that tallow that rendered down, and we're going to put it in the oven overnight. And we're just going to hold it at that stalling point, I think it's called, like 175-ish, and we're just going to let it run. Now, you can keep this in there for a minimum of 4 hours. I went 12. I think allowing it to sit in that 175 degree zone really allows all that rendered fat just to break down even further. Like, talk about juicy, tender, and delicious. This is the final product you're seeing here, guys. And as you can already see, I've got some unreal bark. The burnt ends were spectacular. Look at that smoke ring. Look at all that intermuscular fat rendered down beautifully. Like, talk about juicy, tender, and delicious. This melted in my mouth. I was thrilled with the result. Look at those burnt ends. That's sick. Let's slice into it, man. Holy cow. Talk about delicious. Brisket is one of those like champion items in barbecue that I'm always really excited about. I'm always really excited as well for people still watching my videos this far in. If you're still here, heck yeah, bud. Make sure you comment below what your favorite part of this video was. If you have a specific recipe you'd love to see, also let me know. And don't be afraid to like and subscribe on Instagram and TikTok as well. Guys, I love barbecue. I have a great time with it, and I'm just always out here having a blast. And as you can see here with these brisket burnt ends, I'm stoked. Like, look how simple this just falls apart. Man, oh man, it can bounce, it can hold its own, but you just start tugging it and that thing just falls to pieces. Trust me on that one, guys. Seriously delicious. Seriously delectable every time. Thanks so much again for watching. Hope you're having a great day. Remember to smoke yourself a brisket. You deserve it. Take care, stay safe, and until next time. What's up? What's up? It's your boy, Saucy Rossi, and I'm pretty stoked about these sausages. These are Halifax Donair Brisket sausages that I'm smoking low and slow after letting them cure in my refrigerator overnight. And guys, this is seriously epic. These ended up being delicious. Check out this snap. Isn't that wicked, dude? Look how juicy that is. Seasoned perfectly. These were delicious. Let's start from the top. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi. Make sure you like and subscribe. So, when you're curing sausages, you need to use curing salt. I'm using a 496 mixture. Okay? So that's really important if you're using curing salt. You want to make sure that you have the same ratio in there as me. Now, for seasoning here, I'm using Donair seasoning by the South Shore Sea Salt Company because it's absolutely splendid. And I thought making a Donair sausage would just be awesome, guys. All right, so here are the ratios for the salt breakdown for 1 kilogram of beef. I put in 13 grams of the Donair seasoning. It does have a bunch of sea salt in it, so we'll start there. I put in 4 grams of kosher salt. I put in 2.5 grams of curing salt, which ends up being about 16-ish grams of salt total. Okay, so that's really important. Now, you could see I mixed it in some ice water there to get a little slurry. I ground up my brisket trim, and guys, it ended up being like a, probably about a 25-75 or maybe 20-80 kind of ratio for beef to fat. But these sausages ended up being perfect. So I cased them in natural pig intestine, and guys, threw them on my offset smoker after allowing them to bloom overnight in my refrigerator. And you can see here, we're using maple wood today to smoke these. I'm going extra low and slow, and we're going for probably 6 hours total, like 5.5 or 6 hours. And the idea is we're going to start at 150 degrees, then 160, 170, 180, 190, and so on. At the 5-hour mark, I actually kicked it up to 225 degrees to allow me to cook these sausages all the way through. Now, that means I brought them between 152 degrees and 155 degrees. Then I immediately threw them into an ice bath. Okay, so here they are coming right off the smoker, looking beautiful, smelling gorgeous, but we haven't cooled them off yet. So throw them into some water and then put some ice on top of that, okay? That's really important to stop all the cooking. It's gonna, perfectly, I don't know what the right word is. I think it's congeal and form the sausage. So we're gonna put it in that ice water for about 20 minutes or so. And then we're gonna take it out, put it on a wire rack. You can pat it with a little bit of paper towel if you want to get a little bit of speed on this to dry it off. But we're just gonna let it air dry and continue to bloom. So, as you can see here, this is dried off. It's spectacular. How do I like to eat the sausage? Well, I throw it in the air fryer at 350 degrees for 4 or 5 minutes. And guys, it fries up. It's juicy. It's delicious. Check it. There's that snap I had at the very beginning. Man, isn't that insane? Look at all those juices flowing here. You can see that seasoning in there as well. I sliced up just a little bit just so we could get a closer look at a cleaner cut. And man, oh man, this is seriously spectacular, guys. I was really pumped with the outcome here. Sausages are delicious, and Halifax Donairs are delicious. This hits close to home for me because I'm from Halifax. Hope you guys liked this video. This cook was a lot of fun. I'm really proud of this one. You'll definitely be seeing more sausages coming up soon. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, take care and stay safe. Look at this spectacular sausage. Jalapeno and cheddar stuffed, smoked and cured. Guys, this hit all the marks. Just listen to this snap. Everything about this recipe was simple and delicious, and I can't wait to walk you through absolutely everything. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. I'm using a jalapeno, a Cracker Barrel medium cheddar block of cheese, and some garden herb seasoning by Maritime Madness. And we're going to go ahead and make a slurry today using curing salt, the Maritime Madness seasoning, and kosher salt. Now, I'm going to give you these measurements specifically for a kilogram of pork. Okay? So that's really important here. The measurements I'm about to list off are for 1 kilogram of pork. We're going to be adding 2.5 grams of curing salt, 25 to 30 grams of Maritime Madness garden herb seasoning. It has 11% sodium, so I actually go closer to 25 grams. And then 8 to 10 grams of kosher salt. And in this, I went closer to 8. We're going to mix that with a little bit of ice water, about 50 milliliters or so. And once you have that as a little slurry, you can pour it all over your shredded pork or your grinded pork. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I got these natural hog casings, threw them onto my meat stuffer, and as you can see, we're piping out some delicious sausages. Now, the goal here, guys, is we're going to pipe out these sausages and prep them, but then we're going to let them cure in the refrigerator overnight. And as you can see here, I've got a delicious pile of jalapeno cheddar sausages ready to go. Seriously, let's throw these in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours. It's going to help them bloom. It's really going to, tighten up that skin and dry out the intestine that we're using here. It's going to get perfect to go out on the offset smoker. Now, today, we are not doing our normal cook. We are running our offset smoker low, like at 150 degrees. And this is going to be smoked for about 5 or 6 hours. And every hour or so, we're going to notch the temperature of our smoker up. So we'll start at 150, then 160, then 170, 180, 190, 200. After 200, you want to bump it up to 225 and then finish off those sausages to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Oh, buddy, that right there is going to get you some fantastic results. I mean, just look at these sausages. They're getting that delicious red mahogany color that we all love to see in barbecue. And man, oh man, am I ever revved up. Seriously, guys, this one is wicked. And these are so flavorful. Now, today I'm using sugar maple for the smoke flavor. And that's going to impart just a wonderful flavor profile within the sausages. You can use maple, you could use oak, you could use apple wood. The list goes on. But personally, I think the lighter woods are a great place to start. And these sausages just hit an internal temperature of 155 degrees. So I'm going to pull them off and I'm going to throw them right into an ice bath. You can see here, it's just a big pot of water. And then I top it with a bunch of ice cubes, mix it around, and I leave those sausages in there for at least 20 minutes. We want to make sure we're stopping all that internal cooking. It's really important, and it's going to go a long way. Now, as you can see here, I laid out the sausages on a wire rack and dried them off. And once they were completely air dried, which took about, 2+ hours, they bloomed and just looked beautiful. And guys, at this point, you're just ready to devour these. You can see the little pieces of jalapeno and cheddar inside the sausage. Oh, bud, those little clumps of fat all throughout. Man, oh man, this one was seriously spectacular. I mean, I threw one of these right into the air fryer at 350 degrees for 5 minutes, and it came out beautiful. I mean, doesn't this just look gorgeous? Oh, dude, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Let's check that snap out again. Oh yeah, there's the first snap. And there's that glorious second snap, revealing that unbelievably juicy and delicious ooey gooey sausage. Guys, this one's a 10 out of 10. I mean, you can see in there, we got little pieces of jalapeno. It's nice and juicy. Like, seriously, spectacular. This one is badass. If you like sausages and barbecue, guys, you gotta make sure you like and subscribe. Like I've been saying, my name's Saucy Rossi. I'm the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. I'm always out here just exploring everything to do with barbecues. If you want me to check something specific out, leave a comment below. And again, just like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It will be 100% worth it. I mean, look how delicious this little bit of cheesy goodness looks. Seriously spectacular, guys. It means so much to me that you're here watching my recipe videos. Thank you again. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Until next time, stay safe. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. And in this video, I'm going to show you the first rack of ribs I smoked on my brand new Traeger Woodridge Pro. You better believe these were fall off the bone delicious. This recipe is so simple, guys. If you're like me and love barbecue, hit those buttons, like and subscribe. All right, let's start from the top. So I smoked some ribs on my brand new barbecue. I picked up a Traeger Woodridge Pro from Vintage Stove and Fireplace just outside Truro, Nova Scotia. And I thought to myself, I got to run this test. I'm going to use Kendrick Barbecue All-Purpose and Meat Church Honey Hog as the two dry rubs here to just throw these on this new barbecue, guys. And I'm just liberally seasoning it. As you can see here, I'm making sure to get every side of these ribs covered. Now, you'll also notice that I didn't trim down these ribs. There's lots of fat on there. I left on the extra bones. I wanted to see what a raw rack of ribs on the Traeger Woodridge Pro would really be like. So I fired it up at 225 degrees and I just let this thing go low and slow. I even turned it on super smoke mode. Now, if you don't know what super smoke is, it's basically a mode to add extra smoky flavor into the barbecue chamber. Now, I'm someone that comes from an offset smoker, a real stick burner. So the first thing I'm going to note about this grill is that it 100% does not give off enough smoke as my offset smoker. But that's not a problem. It's just something to consider. So if you want something to be a little less smoky, this is 100% the perfect barbecue for you. And as you could see just a few moments ago on the video, I flashed the Halifax Honey Company's Stingin' Hot Honey Zombie Edition. That's the glaze that I'm finishing these off with. So for this cook, I smoked these for 4 hours, low and slow at 225 degrees, then wrapped them in tinfoil with butter and some barbecue seasoning. Then I smoked them continued at 250 degrees for an extra hour. Then I unwrapped them for the last hour. So a total of 6 hours. The first 4 just straight raw smoke and getting spritzed with apple cider vinegar. From hour 4 to 5, I wrap them in tinfoil with butter and more of the dry rub seasoning. And then from hour 5 to 6, I unwrap them like this and give them that hot honey glaze. Guys, it's simple and delicious. And the biggest thing I'm going to mention here is I hardly had to pay attention to this grill. I was really impressed with the Traeger Woodridge Pro on this one. Like, it really worked out beneficial for me. Like, so simple, so delicious, dude. So we've got these ribs. They're off the smoker. They're looking gorgeous. Let's go ahead. We're going to slice into them and give them a close inspection. Now, I'm looking specifically for a good smoke ring. I want them to still be juicy, tender, and delicious. I'm hoping that they'll fall off the bone. And as you saw at the beginning of the video, it 100% did. That glaze on there with that hot honey and mixed in with those delicious dry rubs were pure, delicious barbecue bliss. Guys, I really, really enjoyed this rack of ribs. Man, it was so just interesting moving from a stick burner over to the wood ridge. I mean, I've used pellet smokers before. I have a tailgating pellet smoker, but the chamber for pellets is so much smaller. This is such a step up. I'm really stoked about this Wood Ridge Pro, and you guys definitely need to keep your eyes glued to my channel. I've been focused all week on doing a number of cooks on it, and I'm hoping in the next week or two I can have a full review of this barbecue up and launched. But for now, just check these ribs out, man. Don't they look spectacular? Like glazed to perfection. I mean, the smoke ring could probably be a little bit thicker. I'm not complaining though. I mean, guys, still juicy, still delicious. It fell off the bone. That exterior almost like caramelized the honey on there. Like, man, oh man, I was all about this. There's that, fall off the bone again. Didn't that just look delicious? Guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. I always call myself the Canadian King of Backyard Barbecue, but the honest answer is I'm learning along with you guys as you watch these videos. I'm always just having a good time. And if you want to see something specific, let me know in the comments below. If you liked this cook, also, just let me know. What do you think of the Wood Ridge Pro? Do you have one yourself? And are you enjoying it? Are there any specific cooks on it that you find unbelievably simple? Because I would love to know about them. I mean, simple recipes is the name of the game on this channel, and that's what I'm all about. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're out there barbecuing some delicious food, getting to eat it, and just enjoy your weekend. Until next time, thanks again so much for watching. Seriously, guys, don't be afraid to like and subscribe. Join my community of home cooks. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You know what's up. Thanks again. Guys, I'm going to make an apple crisp on my Traeger Wood Ridge Pro. This recipe is so simple, super quick, extra delicious. And I am telling you, if you own a Traeger, you got to give this one a shot. It mainly consists of two parts, the filling and the topping. Let's start by preheating that Traeger to 350 degrees and make that crisp topping. We're going to go in with 1 cup of honey bunches of oats, then 3/4 of a cup of flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of cold butter sliced into small cubes. We're going to mix all that together and just set it aside. Next, we're going to make that filling. I used 8 apples of Honey Crisp. And man, we peeled, sliced those up, and mixed it together with 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and just a pinch of salt. That was difficult to ring off. Holy cow. Okay, we're going to get all that wang jangled together. You can see it right here in my bowl. We're making sure all those ingredients go together naturally. And look, if you need me to run through them again, just check that description below. I'll have everything listed, the entire step-by-step process. But the main thing here is we really want those apples coated in all that sugary goodness. Oh, buddy, make sure everything is mixed together beautifully. Then get yourself a little baking dish. I'm using mine by the Rock cookware, and I'm just going to make sure to put all those apples right into the bottom and evenly distribute them. Next, probably obvious, but we're going to come back through with that crisp topping, and we're just going to kind of get it ready to sprinkle over top. What's really important here is that you evenly distribute it. You don't want like mounds of this topping on the top. Make sure it's level. That's going to be super helpful. Then we're going to go out to the Traeger Wood Ridge Pro. This part's super simple. We've already preheated it to 350 degrees. You just set it on. That easy, guys. Wait 45 minutes. Give it a quick check. At this point, it's looking beautiful, but we want a little bit of bubbling around the edges. So I'm going to let this sit for 5 or 10 more minutes, then pull it off. And here we are. I'm going to hit it with a final glaze of stinging hot honey, Cocoa Edition. This is going to be absolutely spectacular. We still get that barbecue sweet heat that I love, but with a little bit of cocoa in there. It's perfect, guys. Man, oh man. This little dessert was spectacular. I just got my Traeger Woodridge Pro, so I'm so excited to learn that I can make desserts on it now. I mean, this apple crisp was to die for. This is like a 3-minute recipe, guys. It takes no time at all. You know what's up. Barbecue for life. It's your boy Saucy Rossy. You got to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Comment below what you want to see me cook next. And guys, I'm just going to leave you with this final little drizzle. Thanks again for watching. Take care and stay safe. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossy, and I smoked some pork money muscle. And I'm going to make a delicious live fire pizza using that smoked pork money muscle. Guys, this one is seriously delicious. It's honestly next level, and I'm super pumped about it. So make sure you hit those buttons, like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and comment below if you love pizza. Let's start from the top. Check it out. I'm grabbing a pork money muscle, and we're going to smoke this low and slow. That means we got to season it with a beautiful barbecue dry rub. And today, I'm using Double Double by Beer League Barbecue. Guys, this is just like a medium double here in Canada. If you know what I'm talking about, shout out Tim Hortons. Oh man, this coffee dry rub has just that delicious note of coffee flavor and is going to pair perfectly on this pork. So, like I'm always doing, making sure to season all sides. The top, the bottom, well, I guess this is kind of round. Rolling it around to make sure I fully coat it, get every edge. Then we put it out on the Pit Boss pellet smoker using hickory pellets. And we're just going to smoke this low and slow at 250 degrees. Now, patience is key with a pork money muscle. It takes about 5 or 6 hours. I know it's a small piece of meat, but you do need to be conscious of the cook time. What you're looking for is for that internal temperature to hit 165 to 175 degrees. And your bark should look just like this. It's exactly what you want. Tacked on there, looking nice and firm. You can touch it with your finger and it shouldn't smear. That's what you're looking for. We're going to pull it off at that point. As you can see there, that bark looks fantastic. And we're going to put it directly in some tinfoil with butter and barbecue sauce. I'm using Earl's Signature Sauces, Carolina barbecue sauce for this. Now I'm making sure to fully lather it on top of this pork money muscle. Then we're going to wrap it up in this tin foil. We're going to use 2 layers here. We want to make sure we're fully coating and then seriously covering it in that tin foil. You don't want any of that barbecue sauce or butter to leak out. I always recommend when you throw it in the oven or back on the smoker for, another hour or so, that you put it inside of a tinfoil tray. So if any juices do leak out, that they get caught and don't make a mess. Now, again, you're going to put this back in the oven in the tinfoil or on the smoker until it hits 203 degrees internal. That's when we're going to pull it off. I'm grabbing my meat slicer by Starfrit, and I'm going to get this thing suctioned down, and we're going to slice this into thin little, I don't know what I call this, pepperettes or whatever, like pepperoni slices is what I'm kind of looking for here, but money muscle pepperoni slices. And as you can see, this is spectacular. That low and slow barbecue, we have a smoke ring, we have delicious bark, the inside is nice and tender and just, melt in your mouth, delicious. I mean, check this out. So I decided that when I saw these, I had to try it on a pizza. I mean, they just are like a piece of pepperoni. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. And man, oh man, I was not mistaken. I'm lucky enough that one of my neighbors runs Bradstone Pizza where I live. And he's cool enough that we link up. I bring over some barbecue. He whips up the pizzas. We go out to his live fire oven that you can see here. Oh man, oh man. And we just get that pizza on and we let it cook. With my barbecue and his pizza skills, seriously, this becomes some next level za. That live fire makes it a 10 out of 10. Look, guys, if you're like me and you love barbecue, this kind of thing is something you gotta try. Pork money muscle is just absolutely scrumptious and delicious. And it turned out it was an incredible topping on this pizza. I really, really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to do this again. It's so worth it. Man, if you got a pizza oven, if you love good barbecue, then you got to make sure you're liked and subscribed to my channel. I'm always out here cooking live fire food, just having a blast, making delicious meals that you can cook at home too. So don't be afraid. Hit those buttons, like and subscribe. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi. I hope you have a great day. Take care, stay safe, and I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. Thanks again. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossi. And today I'm using my charcoal grill and making a beer can chicken. This recipe is really straightforward, guys. It's absolutely delicious too. This chicken was flavor packed. We threw in a piece of that delicious cherry wood to get some smoke flavor on there on the charcoal grill. And I sliced into this leg in a way that you can just see how juicy, tender, and delicious this chicken is. Look, if you love barbecue, hit those buttons, like and subscribe. It's your boy Saucy Rossi. Check it out. I'm using Top Shelf. It's a barbecue seasoning by Beer League Barbecue, local here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I really, really enjoyed this barbecue seasoning. I decided to add it into some butter and just kind of fully mix it around. I wanted to lather this chicken fully in that coating of butter, top, bottom, above the skin, below the skin, on the legs, on the breast, on the back, on the wings. We want to make sure we get this bird fully coated. Even put a very small amount inside. We're going to be putting a beer can in there, so you don't really need to put too much. But we're also going to go in with just a little bit more of that dry rub seasoning over top, okay? And just make sure you're evenly spreading it around, getting this bird fully coated. Now, I'm using Furtado Farms cookwood, piece of cherry wood to be specific, and I'm dropping it directly into my coal bed. As you can see there, it's catching on fire. It's going to start smoking here shortly. So let's go back inside and finish preparing this chicken. I'm using Coldstream Clear Nova Scotia lager, and I'm using a tall boy. I have this little contraption here for, beer can chickens. Makes it a little bit easier, but honestly, if you don't have that, you can just stick the beer can right up the chicken's butt and you'll be perfectly fine. A little bit harder to balance it, but hey, not that big of a deal. And as you can see here from another angle, this is exactly how I did it. I took that cavity at the bottom of the chicken, right by its butt, shoved it right over that beer can, and then just kind of made it sit pretty. And as you can see here, this chicken is looking absolutely spectacular. So let's go ahead, get it on the grill. Make sure you're using heat-resistant gloves. Your charcoal grill should be up to temperature, at least at 350 degrees. I'm running mine closer to about 400, but guys, check it out. We got that piece of wood. It's burning beautifully, and when I close the lid down like this, it will start to smolder. You can see I've added in a second piece of wood there too, and it's going to give off that smoke flavor as this chicken just sits there pretty. Now, cherry wood is the choice I'm making today, but you could use really any kind of fruit wood or nut wood, depending on what you like with chicken. And as you can see there, smoldering beautifully, we're getting that cherry wood scent of smoke all over this chicken. It's exactly what I'm looking for. The skin is starting to tighten up because of that butter. That beer is keeping everything tender, juicy, and moist from the inside. Guys, I'm pretty stoked on this one. That's why I love using my Napoleon charcoal grill. It's so versatile. As long as you know the different methods you can use. I mean, you could just throw down a straight coal bed. You could use the snake method, or like I'm doing here, we're using 2-zone cooking with a little charcoal basket over to the side. Man, oh man, you got to trust me. This came off beautifully. That skin was perfectly crispy. Oh, dude, that beer made this so juicy and delicious. So check it out. This is the chicken after about, I'd say 45 minutes on that grill. The main thing was passing 165 degrees internal. That's really important, both in the breast and in the leg meat. So with leg meat, it is dark meat. It usually goes a little bit higher. I actually like bringing my leg meat up close to about, 180 degrees internal. I find it has such a delicious bite at that temperature. But as you can see here, this chicken leg is looking fantastic. Talk about juicy, tender, and delicious. This wing, man, crispy skin on there. It was so spectacular, the flavor profile. And guys, I sliced into this leg in a way that you could kind of see a cross section. And as you can see there, that meat, like I've been saying, is juicy, tender, and delicious. Every bite on this was so scrumptious, and adding in that Nova Scotia lager was the perfect addition to give my chicken that extra little bit of flavor that I love. Seriously spectacular and seriously incredible, guys. This one was a 10 out of 10. If you're going to try a beer can chicken, I strongly suggest you use the strategy I used here. Throw some butter on it, mount up that bird with seasoning all over it onto that beer can, crack it open, and let those juices flow. You'll see there, that breast is so incredibly juicy, moist, and just fantastic. Everything I was looking for, guys. Seriously spectacular. Slice it in half so we can get that cross section, and man, oh man, doesn't it ever look magnificent. Thanks again for watching. If you're still here, it means so much to me. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And if you ever have a recommendation for a recipe I should try, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. Oh, take care, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful day.
What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. And I smoked an unbelievable pork shoulder, but I needed the best sauce ever to complement it. And I came up with this unbelievable rum chipotle apple barbecue sauce. And the apples were oven baked. Guys, this was so delicious on this pulled pork sandwich. If you love delicious barbecue, then make sure you like and subscribe and just sit back, relax. This recipe is really straightforward. I'm going to throw up the ingredients list here. If you want to hit pause and jot that down, you go right ahead. Let's move on. Check it out. All right, we're going to start with 3/4 cup of ketchup. We're going to add in 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar, 1/2 cup of water. We're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Then we're going to hit it with some hot honey, as much as you'd really like. We're going to use it to sweeten it. I used about 2 tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons. Then we're going to go in with 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then some salt and pepper to taste. We're going to mix all that together, and you have the base for a simple barbecue sauce. Let's elevate it. So these are apples, Honeycrisp apples that I baked in the oven. And man, oh man, they're going to be delicious. So we're going to throw those in and just emulsify them down, fully incorporate it. Next, 1 smoked chipotle pepper. I'm going to grind this up in a herb grinder just so I can add that in and get an unbelievably fine addition of flavor added in here. That's going to be bold and delicious. Again, fully incorporate it. Next, we want that earthy tone from some coffee. So get about a shot glass or 1 to 2 ounces of brewed coffee, and we're going to pour that in. Next, we're going in with 1/4 cup of some amber rum. Specifically, I'm using Boat's Keg Distilling Hidden Barrel Amber Rum. And bud, we're just going to incorporate that. Let that seriously cook for like 8 to 12 minutes. We want to make sure we cook off all of that alcohol. That's really important here, okay? Then, once you get it to about this consistency, guys, we are looking fantastic. I mean, barbecue sauce is delicious. With these apples, you're getting a little bit of extra body and thickness. Oh, dude, it's that gentle, sweet fruitness that I just love. It's almost candy-like. The chipotle, it adds smoke and a mild heat, but it has that earthy backbone. The coffee, it adds bitterness, and this roast is like a dark chocolate roast, so it has that depth to it. And it also balances out the sweetness. That's super important. The rum, bud, that's barbecue gold with subtle notes of vanilla and oak. Perfect for our barbecue sauce. It's going to play
beautifully with caramelized apples. It adds that Nova Scotia character to your cook, right? But don't forget the hot honey. Stingin' Hot Honey by Halifax Honey Company is basically my favorite ingredient in barbecue. It adds so much perfection. That balance of sweet and heat is literally a 10 out of 10. Guys, I really enjoyed making this sauce. I was super stoked on it too. And you can see here, this pulled pork sandwich came together beautifully. I'm super stoked on it. And if you're stoked on barbecue like I am, make sure you go ahead, hit those buttons, like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. But I just love it. If you're going to cook something and you're going to follow any of my recipes, make sure you tag me. I love seeing what people have thrown together. This one was delicious. Super stoked on it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below if you love barbecue. Until next time, take care and stay safe. In this video, we're going to make some steak tacos, but it's got a little bit of a twist. We're going to marinate it in some fire roasted salsa. Guys, this one's simple and delicious. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossi. Make sure you hit those buttons, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Look, I am new to cooking tacos. I grew up just like thinking that the regular white person hard shell tacos were exactly how you did it. And I recently found out about corn flour tortillas, and I've been obsessed ever since. Every time I pick up a delicious like skirt steak like this, I always think to myself, tacos. And this time I want to do something different. I grabbed some Casa Bonita fire roasted chipotle salsa. I opened that up. I just poured a bunch onto this skirt steak. I didn't really know exactly what would happen, but I had a feeling that it would make sense. I mean, everyone loves that like hot sauce with a steak, right? I mean, I know I do, my buddies do, and I think it just works out. So in my head, this made perfect sense. Threw it into a Tupperware container with a little bit of olive oil and salt, just to kind of like add to it, I guess. And it worked out. I wiped off a bunch of that salsa. I left a little bit on, but like most of it's big wet chunks. You don't really want that. Then I grabbed a barbecue seasoning. I went with Cuso's maple bourbon. And yeah, I just coated both sides right quick. So yeah, there it is, Cuso's maple bourbon, but you could honestly use any kind of barbecue sauce. If it were me, I'd avoid going too crazy with salt because we did add salt in earlier, but either way, you're going to enjoy this one. So I fired up my charcoal grill, just getting it up at a nice hot temperature. Oh yeah, here's a shot of those corn flour tortillas by Casa Bonita. Those are the ones I'm going to be using today. So like I said, I'm using my Napoleon charcoal grill, putting down a bed of Kingsford charcoal, and I'm just going to grill this hot and fast. I've got my cast iron grill grate on the barbecue, and I've got it in the lower position, so it's nice and close to the coals. I'm going to give this a few flips. Now, the first thing I should probably mention is I eat my steaks rare. Rarer than most as well. I like to pull my steaks off at probably about 120 degrees. Most people pull them off at 130 or 140. But personally, I like a nice rare steak. So I grill this up, continue to flip it, just trying to get a little bit of char on the outside there, but nothing too crazy. And I'm regularly probing it with just a meat thermometer. Nothing intense, just, watching the temperature and just trying to get it to around 120 degrees. Now in this video, you can see it's clearly winter outside. I got snow everywhere. I think it was like minus 11 degrees outside. So I only have the lid open for filming. If you close the lid, it will cook a little bit faster, but this probably took about 10 minutes of just flipping, whatever, nothing too crazy. Then I just pulled it off. Here you can see I'm putting down those corn flour tortillas as well above the coal bed just to kind of give them a quick toast, and that's going to be delicious. So let's go ahead and slice up this steak, get into it. And as you can see here, I probably could have gotten a little more char on it. I don't care though. It was absolutely spectacular. I nailed this one. So I pulled this off at 120 degrees and it rested to an internal temperature of about 128 129. And that's spot on where I love my steak. I know more people would prefer it a little bit more well done, but I'm not I'm not them. This is how I like my steak. You can eat your steak however you'd want. So let's go ahead and slice into this. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because it's definitely going to take a little bit. I enjoyed this as I sliced through. And so as you can see here, I'm just trying to get nice thin little strips, and I'm going against the grain. That's really important. Whenever you're eating a steak, almost always you want to go against the grain. One exception there is picanha steak. But in this case, guys, this is simple and delicious. You can see here, oh, buddy, that nice rare steak is looking beautiful. Probably, again, I've said this once or twice, I probably could have gotten a little more char on the outside, but that's nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and assemble some tacos. So this is simple, guys. I don't do it complex. I just put some simple cheese down, laid down my steaks, just trying to like evenly distribute this. Nothing too crazy. I ended up getting 6 good tacos, and I'd like to say that's a good amount of meat on each. I think so. I pickled some red onions. You can see, threw those down. And we got the fire roasted jalapeno salsa at this point. I'm only putting a little bit on there, nothing too intense, because we already marinated the steak in that salsa. It's going to have that fire roasted taste to it already. It's going to be absolutely delicious. And you can see here, this little taco is going to be spectacular. So I take my corn flour tortilla, give it the old bend, and man, oh man, this is such a great little taco. Let's go in a little bit closer, take a better look. Guys, I really enjoy tacos. I don't know what to say. Tacos are delicious. Let me know in the comments below how much you like tacos. If you have any suggestions for any Mexican style food that I should try, please let me know right away. I'm literally just learning all this stuff and I'm super excited about it. Also, like I said earlier, don't be afraid. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You guys know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy. Always out here just having a blast. Cooking food on my barbecue, trying new things, having a great time. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day. Take care. In this barbecue recipe video, I'm going to show you these delicious hot honey sausages that I made on my offset smoker, cured and smoked. Oh, buddy, these turned out magnificent. Check out the fantastic snap on this. Oh, wasn't that diabolical? You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. So, let's just talk about it. I've been making sausages lately, pork and beef. But today, I'm just using some pork. It's pretty straightforward. I've thrown them into my grinder, just some chunks, and I'm just going to make a little slurry here and throw it right into this mixture of ground pork. Now, the ratios for this slurry are going to be as follows. It's just 3 ingredients. Okay, Stingin' Hot seasoning by the Halifax Honey Company, kosher salt, and curing salt. And I'm going to put all of that in with just about 50 milliliters to about 80 milliliters of cold water. Now, we're using 20 grams of that Stingin' Hot seasoning by Halifax Honey Company. We're using 13.5 grams of kosher salt and 2.5 grams of curing salt. We're going to put that all mixed together into some casings. We're going to do the little twirl here, fix those sausages to the right size. As you can see, I'm giving it the old wang jangle, the quick twist, the flick of the wrist. You know what's up. And bud, you're going to end up with some sausages that are ready to get cured overnight in the refrigerator, okay? You can even see here my first C-Link sausage. Pretty stoked on that. Now, what is curing? Well, I don't really fully know, but you leave it in the refrigerator to cure overnight. And it's basically, I think, going to allow those salts to really penetrate the pork. It's going to help it firm up. You can see there, it's distinctly changed that color. And it's definitely made it more firm. That casing is kind of just fitting better. Everything about it smells more like a sausage as well. So I'm using some sugar maple today, and I'm smoking this low and slow, doing my absolute best just to get that flavor throughout these sausages. Now, you can smoke this anywhere between like 3 and 6 hours, but I'm starting low low and slow at 150 degrees. And I'm going to increase it by 10 to 15 degrees every hour or so. So we'll go 150, 165, 180. And then at that point, we've hit 3 hours. You can really kick it up or keep it there for just a moment. I don't know. A real smoke house will probably go somewhere about 6 hours, but if you're just in your backyard like me chilling, it's okay to only go 3 hours. You're going to still get that beautiful flavor on there. Once you see that distinct mahogany color change, you can see right here, this sausage is looking beautiful compared to earlier when it just wasn't cooked yet. Anyway, we just want to be patient here, okay? You're going to let that sugar maple smoke roll over this, and that hot honey mixture with all that salts that cured overnight, it's just going to become absolutely delicious barbecue. So once you get it to the point where you're happy, whether it's 3 hours or close to 6, once you're ready to finish this off, the plan is to kick it up to about 225 and bring the internal temperature of these sausages up to around 152 to 155 degrees internal. Then you want to put them immediately into an ice bath for 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes, depending on how you feel comfortable with it. We want to make sure that internal cooking has completely stopped. Then you're going to let it air dry, normally on a wire rack. And then you can just cook one up right there. I threw this into an air fryer for about 4 or 5 minutes at 350 degrees. And man, it's looking plump, juicy, and absolutely delicious. So let's take another look at that snap I showed a little bit earlier. Oh man, that was actually spectacular. The crispiness of that exterior shell, that skin is just fantastic. It's definitely juicy. It's definitely looking spectacular. And just check this out. Like slicing into these little medallions, I'm pretty pumped on it. I keep saying this, but it's juicy. That skin snapped beautifully, and just that flavor was there. I mean, hot honey and pork, you really can't go wrong. That seasoning speaks through, but it still keeps it calm, cool, and collected. Anyway, you guys know what's up. I hope you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching my videos. I always have such a good time cooking this food. Let me know in the comments below what type of sausages I should do up next. And guys, take care, stay safe, and until next time. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, and today I'm making smoked chicken jacket potatoes. This recipe is absolutely scrumptious, and if you're a white guy like me, you're gonna absolutely love this. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy. This recipe is so simple, guys. Man, check it out. We're gonna start with some chicken thighs, and we're gonna simply season them with seasoned salt by Island Girl Foods, but you can use any seasoned salt you want. And we're just going to lightly coat the bottom, and we're going to pull back that skin, and we're going to add a little bit more underneath the skin as well. We're going to add in some cracked black pepper also underneath the skin. Then pull that skin forward and add just a touch more of that seasoned salt. Super simple here, guys. This seasoning is very basic, and that seasoned salt is really going to help kick it up a notch. This is what you want your chicken thigh looking like. Just ready to go. You can hit it with just a touch of oil if you'd like, but don't overdo that. Next, we're going to fire up the Traeger Woodridge Pro, and I'm running it at 225 degrees right now. That's going to be for the first about 40-45 minutes or so, and it's really going to help that chicken catch that smoky flavor. Now, after about 45 minutes, your chicken should look like this. The skin is just kind of looking like there should be a little bit of moisture on it, just a little bit of color to the chicken, but, just patience. That's what's really important here. So again, we're going to start it at 225 degrees for about 45 minutes. At the 45-minute mark, we're going to kick up the barbecue to 380 degrees. You can even go to 400 if you'd like. I normally keep it just a touch under 400, but do what you please. We're going to put them just sitting there on the grill grate for about 30 more minutes. And that's going to help us get up to about 195 internal. close to about 200. That's going to make shredding this chicken perfect. But for now, let's go deal with some potatoes and get those in the oven. We're going to lightly rub them with some oil, hit them with some seasoned salt, then throw them into the oven to start baking. That's going to get us some baked potatoes here shortly. Now, let's go back to the chicken. We're going to shred that chicken beautifully. Now, you just want to rip it apart. Real simple. Just let it, fall off the bone. You can see here with a simple squeeze, this just erupts in my hand. And that's what happens when you really bring it up close to 200 degrees. It's definitely getting well done chicken, but if treated properly, it's still going to be juicy, tender, and delicious. Now, I'm coming in with some sweet guava barbecue sauce on half the chicken and mango jerk sauce on the other half of the chicken. And we're just going to make sure to fully incorporate that sauce all over the chicken. Look, you can use whatever barbecue sauce you want here, but the goal is to make sure you got some delicious, saucy chicken. All right, let's go back to those baked potatoes. They've been in the oven for about an hour. We're going to let them cool off. We're going to slice into them, and we're going to scoop out a bunch of that potato. Now, I also have some smoked cheddar cheese that if you want to see the entire way I smoke them, you can check that in an additional related video just on my channel. Look up smoked cheddar cheese. You're going to love it. But for now, we're going to shred up this smoked cheddar cheese. We're going to add it into our mashed potato mixture. Now, I didn't do this on camera, but I added just a little bit of cream and some melted butter directly into these potatoes to make them extra delicious, along with some of that seasoned salt and some pepper. Now, I'm going to stuff it back into those potato skins. We're going to top it with just a little bit of cheese. Then we're going to come in with a bunch of that chicken right on top. We're going to get that situated, throw that back in the oven for maybe 5 minutes, let that incorporate together, pull it out, hit it with a dollop of sour cream and some chives on top, and you have yourself a jacket potato. Guys, this recipe is so simple and it's incredibly delicious. I can't emphasize that enough. I am a meat and potatoes boy. I love this kind of meal, and I could eat all of these in one sitting. Seriously, this was delectable and delicious. And if you're like me and love barbecue and simple recipes, this is a must try. You guys know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks so much for watching my recipe. Hope you have a great day. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. And today I'm smoking a tri-tip low and slow, exactly like a brisket. We're going to get some delicious results, guys. And let me just explain this right quick. Smoking it this way is super delicious and you get unreal results. I mean, you only have to spend about 7 or 8 hours for almost identical results to a brisket. So let's go through everything here. You know what to do. Hit those buttons, like and subscribe. Now, I picked this tri-tip up from Costco. It was $75 and I got 2 of them. So that's about, $30-something there for the price point. This is not a bad price point at all, considering briskets normally start around $120. Now I'm using habanero mustard as a binder here by Maritime Madness, and I'm going to use their Unreal Pepper dry rub along with their garden herb dry rub to make the perfect just coating of seasoning on this tri-tip. Liberally season it as well. Tri-tips can take a lot of seasoning and a lot of salt content as well. So if your dry rub goes up towards, 10 or 11% sodium, that's perfectly fine here. Make sure to get everything fully covered, all sides, and we're going to fire up the custom-built R&R smoker. Now, today I'm burning sugar maple on my smoker, and I'm running it close to 225 and 250 degrees, somewhere in between there. And we really want to run it low and slow. Now, this is probably going to take about 7 to 8 hours on the smoker, and it's just going to run. We're going to let that bark build over time. And past the 2 hour and 30-minute mark, we're going to start hitting it with light spritzes of apple cider vinegar. But you could also use beer. Apple or orange juice also works. Those are more recommended for pork, but you could totally use it here. And if you want, you can dilute it down as well with just some simple water. But what really matters here is just making sure the exterior stays nice and moist while we're rendering everything down. Now, like I said, this is going to take about 6, 7, or maybe even 8 hours, low and slow. And during that time, it's just really important to be patient, checking it regularly just to make sure if it needs a quick spritz in any dry spots that you give it that quick shot. But guys, it's just really important to be patient. You can see here that bark hasn't completely set, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the point when the bark is fully covering this slab of meat. And again, low and slow around 225 to 250 degrees for about 7 or 8 hours will get you those results. As you can see here, the bark is set beautifully. So I'm going to wrap it in tin foil, and I've also put some beef tallow into that tin foil as well. Now I'm putting it in my tin foil tray. I'm going to throw it into either the oven or back out on the smoker at 250 degrees until it reaches an internal temperature of about 203. You can just check by making sure it's probe tender, okay? Now let's slice into this. With a tri-tip, there are 2 grains that run through it. So that's why I'm slicing it in the middle, then into these smaller chunks. We want all these bites to be against the grain. And as you can see here, guys, I nailed it. This was perfect. I mean, for 7 or 8 hours total to get brisket-like results. Look, I'm not crazy. I understand a brisket is better. But for like $35 and less than half the time, oh man, that is what I'm talking about. You're getting those juicy, delicious results. That smoke ring is prominent and pronounced. That flavor is through every bite. These are just going to melt in your mouth. I mean, guys, you got to trust me on this one. You're going to be super stoked. Low and slow smoked tri-tip is a must try for anyone that is deep in the world of barbecue. If you love it, you're going to be super into this recipe. Not only is it simple, it is super delicious. Guys, I always appreciate you watching my videos. Thank you so much if you're still here. It means so much to me. Oh man, like and subscribe if you already haven't done it. Go follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Make sure you try some smoked tri-tip. You're going to friggin' love it, bud. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. And I just am chilling here in my backyard with a really bright sun, apparently. Oh my goodness. Seriously, I'm chilling out here. I want to talk to you guys about sodium in barbecue rubs. So, like, sodium is a huge part of barbecue. It represents the salt portion of your meal, and it varies. Some dry rubs have very low percentages of sodium, anywhere from 0, 1, 2, or 3%. Then there's the mid range. It's kind of like a, 5, 4 or 5, up to about 7% or 8% sodium. Then above that, 9% and above, those dry rubs are extra salty. But they all have their purpose, and I'm hoping that in this video, I can maybe explain that to you a little bit better. So let's just relax. You know what to do. Hit those buttons, like and subscribe. I'm your main man, Saucy Rossy. Let's talk about it. So in barbecue, sodium is a flavor enhancer. It helps build bark. It's extremely important. I mentioned this just a moment ago, though. It also can be very overpowering. You can go too far with sodium. It's very common when people season steaks. When they have a nice thin little steak for quick frying, I totally see people put too much on because they're watching a YouTube video where they have a nice thick steak that takes a lot of salt to penetrate. But the smaller the steak, the less seasoning you're going to need. Well, at least for sodium. That's really important to understand. And it doesn't just apply to steak. Honestly, the leaner meats, chicken, rib meat, tenderloins, those are a lot easier to overdo it with sodium. But just, understanding and doing some simple tests can get you a long way. So when it comes to putting seasoning on your meat, it's all about letting it kind of rest for just a little bit before you do the cook. So for high sodium rubs, you don't want to let it rest too long. Anything over 10% sodium Don't let it rest more than 30 minutes or an hour prior to cooking. Even then, I sometimes only go 15 minutes when it's over about 9 or 10% sodium. Now, when you have a lower bearing sodium amount, like 0 through 3%, you can let that go all night. Let those flavors penetrate the meat. It's super important. Now, with sodium, it's important to just understand it's salt. It's drawing out moisture. That's the main goal here. Okay? So by putting the sodium on, we're going to just allow, like a better crust to be built. That's definitely important. And by drawing out that hydration, that water content, it really allows for a better sear. So if you're trying to get crust, like on a steak or anything like that, maybe on a tenderloin, it's all about having a dry exterior. That's why you see people petting their steaks dry before they put them on the grill. It's because the sodium is releasing that moisture, bringing it right on the exterior. Now, if you put that onto a hot surface, that's going to start steaming. You don't want a steamed steak. You want a fried and grilled steak. That's what it's all about. Maybe not fried. That's probably the wrong word. I was thinking fire grilled. Anyway. Now, when it comes to store-bought rubs, it's really important that you take the time and pay attention. In general, store-bought rubs have higher sodium counts, but not all. Here are a couple simple examples. If I'm not mistaken, this has 1%, this has 1%, this has 3%, this has 4%, this has 7%, and this has 9% sodium. All local to the Atlantic Canadian provinces, and all of them are delicious, but they all have different purposes, like this one. This is for chicken. This is for steak. This can be used on a number of things. Basically anything chipotle goes with. I like to mix this a little bit with some other seasonings. It's fantastic. This is an all-purpose dry rub. Goes on absolutely everything. And this is a hot honey dry rub. So you can combine them. But it's important. If you're combining dry rubs, do not go over 10% sodium. Just by adding the percentages together on the back will be enough. For example, this is at 9% sodium. Basically, you don't want to mix it with any of these because it will bring you up above 10%. However, these three, go nuts. They could all even be combined together. Now, I wouldn't normally do that, but I like to try and find flavors that match. Chipotle, maybe with a garden herb, right? Or hot honey with maybe a butter rub. Something simple. Look, I'm just loving barbecue and dry rubs, and it's important to me that you understand how the sodium content works, because that's super important. Anyway, so this is your friendly reminder. Always check the label. You'll end up with better barbecue if you understand the dry rub and control it a little bit better. It's not that difficult. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm always trying to release barbecue tips and tricks just like this one that will help you out. You guys know what's up. It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Oh man, I'm having a great time. I hope you're enjoying yourself too. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.